How's it going, guys? I'm Vivi and welcome back to another Sly Cooper theory / discussion video. Now about Dr. M, I've mentioned this guy a couple of times in other videos, but I've realized that I still haven't made a video talking about him mainly. What do we know about Dr. M, by the way? He was a technical specialist of Connor's gang, of Sly's father's gang. According to Dr. M, he felt like a sidekick and he left the team for some unknown reason. Of course, if we go with assumption, maybe he felt betrayed, but there's more to it. There's a bunch of stuff we still don't know. At one point in Sly 3, Bentley was starting to have doubts. He told himself, could Sly be treating us as simple sidekicks? Murray was like, no, don't think that way, Bentley. I mean, these three have been together ever since the orphanage. So eventually, a time came where Dr. M decided to try and break into the Cooper vault, and for what reason? Well, he probably told himself, hey, I was the brains of the gang. I deserve some of that treasure. And we can also say it was his way at revenge for whatever it was Connor did. Anything else we know about Dr. M? Apparently Sly's father was not such a good friend. Dr. M, he left Connor because he wasn't such a good friend? Okay, there's a bunch of scenarios one can come up with. There's just so much about Dr. M. There's some things that weren't made clear. And like I've said multiple times, I believe that not all Coopers were the same. Sly himself said, we're all individuals. Sure, he's a Cooper, but he's just him. And during that cutscene, we can feel some sort of kindness in Dr. M, the way he was speaking, the tone of his voice. When Sly mentioned his friendship with Bentley, Dr. M proceeded by saying, you may be right, he risked his life to save you.
You might be right. He risked his life to defend you.
I'd do the same for him.
Funny. Your father was never such a good friend.
Just the way he was talking, could it hint us towards what actually happened between him and Connor in the past? Now, since Sly, Murray, and Bentley have such a strong friendship, Sly said, I'd also do the same for Bentley. Yes, he risked his life to save me. I would do the same exact thing. He said, funny, ... Your father was never such a good friend. Could the three dots, yes, I know I'm probably overanalyzing, but could Dr. M have remembered something when he heard that sentence from Sly? Just judging by his response, could it be possible that during a mission, Connor and McSweeney thought that he had died? Maybe they had left him behind to die, you never know. Maybe Connor was this complete jerk and a coward, and why would he leave him to die if he were the brains of the gang? Simple. Connor wanted to save himself, and McSweeney probably was also involved in this. And I'm pretty certain that McSweeney and Connor were a lot closer compared to Dr. M. But if you guys have seen the comics, issue number 2, McSweeney called Connor one of a kind and a good man. So who are we supposed to believe? Is Connor a good man or a bad friend? One of a kind could mean anything. A good man though, it's straightforward, but we have two people who knew Connor. Who are we supposed to believe? Was Connor such a terrible friend or was he a good guy? And maybe that's why he felt like a sidekick, like a tool. He felt like he was being used only for his brains, like a means to an end. If he was left behind at the point of dying, maybe that's what traumatized him. Maybe that's what caused him to turn mad every time he heard the word Cooper. And again, guys, when Sly mentioned I would do the same for Bentley, that's when he mentioned that Connor was never such a good friend. So could it be possible that he was left behind to die, pretty much? Perhaps Connor and McSweeney thought that he had died, and when he came back he tried facing them, but they were just cowards. They probably ignored him and simply ran away. And at that point, Dr. M sought revenge. Plus, he was looking forward to Sly's death in Sly 3. Now, how exactly did he seek revenge? Of course, he tried breaking into the Cooper vault, but there's more to it, and I will get to that soon. It actually has to do with the movie. So pretty much, whatever Connor did in the past, it affected Dr. M personally. Now, if he was left to die, why keep it away from Sly? Why not say your father was such a monster? During a mission, they completely ignored me and left me behind to die. Whatever was going on in his mind, it just completely took over him. His emotions, they got out of control. And at one point, since he had so much darkness, so much hate in his heart, he decided to take it out on Sly, to kill him basically. And since Sly was a spitting image of his father, Dr. M believed that by killing Sly, he would finally be free. Who knows what was going on in his mind? And we can also say this was part of his revenge. By killing Sly, the legacy would die. And honestly, guys, guys, when it comes to Sly 3, they could have added so much more to the story. Sure, Connor was a bad friend, but what is it that made him a bad friend? The Sly Cooper series, guys, there's these unanswered questions. Clockwork. Sure, he wanted to be known as the greatest thief alive. Hunting down Coopers for generations, there's more to it, come on. Dr. M, why did he turn insane? Neela, why did she want to become immortal? Like, these are questions that never got answered. Sure, the villain did this and that, but why? Why did they do that? I believe they could have made the plot a lot stronger if they had answered these questions. If anything, they could continue the comic series, go over stuff that have never been explained. And one thing I'd like to see in Sly 5 at least is Clockwork's backstory. We need it. You want to make a great Sly Cooper game? At least answer one of these questions. Anyways, back to the point. According to McSweeney, when Sly was born, things got a bit intense. Could Sly's mother, yeah, what about her? Could she have been involved in some way in this whole situation with Dr. M? Look, when Sly was born, could Connor, instead of taking care of him, could he have been way too focused on thieving? Could that have made the mother upset? Could that have caused some sort of disagreement? Maybe a divorce? Sure, we did see Sly on his father's lap. He was about to inherit the book, right? Could it be possible that Sly never spent much time with his father? I mean, what does Sly even remember when it comes to his father? At the age of 3, he went to Italy to give the map to the Cooper Vault. They went to see McSweeney. So if he remembers that, we can go with the idea that Sly does have a very good memory. Here's another one. Issue number 1 on the first page. Never act before the sun goes down. That's what his father said when he was a kid. Okay, if they were divorced and Sly has a good memory, couldn't he have remembered the divorce? Why couldn't he remember? Perhaps Connor had lied to him the whole time. Maybe they were divorced, and on rare occasions, the mother and Connor would meet. Connor could have been like, "Son, I love your mother. We have a very solid relationship. Don't worry about it." So again, could Connor have been lying to Sly? Sure, there's a bunch of pictures on the wall, but they could have been divorced. Maybe at one point she got fed up that Connor didn't really take care of Sly, since he was way too focused on his missions. And who knows, maybe the mother had full custody of Sly. Now I just said that Connor and Sly's mother would meet on rare occasions. One of these rare occasions, and the unfortunate one, is the night of the attack. During that night, the mother wanted to meet Sly and his father. And unfortunately, the Fiendish 5 also took her life. Now, if the mother had full custody, maybe Connor was the one who visited that night. Then again, the Thievius Raccoonus was inside a safe. We can assume that was Connor's home. Or maybe not. Maybe Connor had told himself, hey, let's hide the Thievius Raccoonus at my wife's house. So people wouldn't find out. And who knows, if Connor went to visit his son, maybe he was being followed that night. Followed by who? The Fiendish 5. And unfortunately, that was the end of both his mother and father's lives. Question is though, was Clockwork planning on killing both parents or only Connor? Technically, Connor is the one who taught Sly a few tricks. So technically, Clockwork would go after Connor. So maybe at the last minute, Clockwork thought that, hey, let's kill the mother as well, and make their child miserable. So if we go with the idea that they were divorced, this means that the mother could have survived. If it weren't for Connor visiting Sly that night, Sly could have been raised by his mother. It's really sad to think about. And perhaps the divorce could have been one of these intense moments. Then again, if Sly were raised by his parents, well, one of them, he would never have met his friends Bentley and Murray. And if we involved Dr. M in this whole situation, perhaps he hated the way Connor treated his wife. He always was focusing on thieving and missions. He was perhaps ignoring Sly most of the time. And who knows, maybe Connor blamed the divorce on Dr. M. Maybe Dr. M told everything to his wife. And who knows, maybe the situation got so intense at one point that Connor probably punched him. Why did Dr. M even join the gang? Sure, maybe they grew up as friends, but what if Dr. M had a bunch of degrees and unfortunately, he was broke. He couldn't find a job. Being part of Connor's gang was probably last resort. He needed money. He used his brains, joined the gang, and became friends temporarily. Perhaps he never knew about the Cooper Vault. McSweeney in issue number 2 said that your father, he spoke of this secret vault. It's not like McSweeney knew about the vault from the very beginning. If true, maybe Dr. M had absolutely no idea about the vault. It was kept away from him, even when in the gang still. Now the big question is, how did he find out about the Cooper Vault in the first place? Perhaps someone such as Clockwork revealed the location to him. Look, Clockwork, he's been watching the Coopers for generations. It's not crazy to think that he found out about the location eventually. actually. I mean, he's an owl, he flies everywhere, right? Perhaps a deal was made. A very dark deal, we can say. Dr. M, since he was filled with so much anger and couldn't take it anymore, he just did not care of the dangers that were ahead of Connor and his family. And the danger in this case would be Clockwork. And yes, this brings me to the movie. Vivi, stop talking about the movie. Yes, I know, I've been talking about the movie a lot, but just hear me out. Right before the night of the attack, Dr. M meets Clockwork. A deal was made, right? The deal was to tell Clockwork where the Thievius Raccoonus was located at. In exchange, Clockwork would reveal the location of the Cooper Vault. And we can say that Clockwork is actually the one who revealed the vault. Dr. M probably had no idea that such a place existed. The first thing we could hear in the movie is, "We had a deal, so pay up." Clockwork throws a map, a different one. We can say he's the one who came up with it, right? I mean, how did Dr. M find Kane Island in the first place? For years, he tried breaking in. He had no luck until the gang showed up. This scene, guys, it could be 2 minutes, not even 5 minutes. It could be very short. Dr. M asks, "What is it you want to do with the book?" Clockwork replies in his epic, scary voice, "That is none of your concern." And then he flies away. Now, I don't know if you guys will agree with this idea, but what if, during the ending scene, we see Dr. M finding the Cooper Vault? If that were to happen, then people would start wondering, hey, maybe the movie might get a sequel. And if the movie bombs at the box office, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I mean, surely if Clockwork reveals the Cooper Vault to Dr. M, viewers will be wondering, hey, what happened to that Dr. M guy? Where is he? The thing is, they don't even have to reveal his name. Or they could reveal his true name. What does M stand for? Sure, it could stand for Dr. Monkey, but maybe M does stand for an actual name. Oh, and last thing I want to throw in this video, guys. What if Dr. M was sent to prison and his friends did nothing about it? Maybe that's what caused his anger? Who knows? And of course, eventually he was able to escape. Anyways, guys, I feel like I've been rambling throughout the whole video, so I'm gonna end it right here. So what do you think? The scenarios I mentioned in this video, do they sound too crazy? Are they too, like, far-fetched? Could the parents have been divorced? Could Connor have kept that secret from Sly when he was younger? Tell me what you think in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you for watching.